Let's speak to Clement Boateng. He's Vice President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. Mr. Boateng, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Sandra, good evening and thank you for having me.
I have just tried to play the audio of the first Deputy Speaker. You stand accused. You've heard what he said. What's your response initially?
Yes, Sandra, for the caliber of a person like Joe Osei, who is the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, to come out with a statement of this nature is very unfortunate. We don't expect him, to be coming out with a statement of this nature, because if you say we underdeclare, we overprice our goods to make huge profits, and that we are dishonest, are you saying GRA is not doing their work? Because we don't give values for duties to be paid. When we bring in our goods, we submit our invoices, our list of items, as well as our bill of lading to the GRA to give us the required duties to pay. And so if you say we underdeclare, are you suggesting that GRA is not giving us the desired duties to pay? You see, if statements of this nature comes from our leaders, then we don't know where we are heading to. The position that he's occupying, he should know that he's occupying that position as a privilege, and that it was people who voted him into that position. And so therefore, if he's making a statement, he should be very cautious of the statement that comes out from his mouth. If you say we don't have any moral authority to complain about the taxes that we are paying, you, as a first Deputy Speaker of Ghana, and you are aware that the president has been championing the cause of patronizing local goods, and then you went out there with our scarce foreign exchange to purchase goods abroad and then bring it. Do you have the moral right to complain of anything? Do you have the moral right? So we are very much astonished. I must be frank with you. We are very much astonished from that unguarded statement by the first Deputy Speaker. And I think posterity will judge him.
But let's look at the elements of the issues that he raised. If there is exploitation, he feels it, and that's why he's talking about it. He says that he went to the market and the amount or the price you have put on tiles, for instance, is way, way higher than what he got when he went to China. Clearly, even though he's a first Deputy Speaker, he knows that we are supposed to patronize goods in Ghana. If you're going to cheat him in Ghana, he should not remain in Ghana simply because he wants to be patriotic. And again, it's not as if GUTA produces here in Ghana anyway. You also import. So if you can go to China to import, he can equally go and do same, knowing that he will not pay as much as you would ask him to pay if he bought it from you here in Kumasi or in Accra.
No, what exploitation is he talking about? GUTA has been complaining, and it is not even GUTA alone. It is the entire business community in Ghana that has been complaining quite some time now over the cost of doing business. You are aware that currently, if you go to our ports are empty. Look, just 2 weeks ago, GPHA arranged a meeting with us to find out the reason why Ghana is losing cargo. And as a result of that, government is losing a lot of revenue, simply because the cost of doing business in this country is very high. So if government is coming out with a lot more taxes, which is going to compound the problem, and GUTA is complaining, then you have the audacity to insult the traders, for that matter, the business community. For every cost that any businessman expense, you should know that he will definitely pass it on to the consumer, and that will definitely result in price hikes. And that is the more reason why we have been appealing to the government not to assent this, we have been appealing to the president not to assent this bill, because the moment president assents to this bill and then it becomes law, it means that implementation is going to start. And when implementation is going to start, it is going to compound the problems that we've been talking about. And we wouldn't have any other option but, to pass on to the consumer. You are aware that this year, VAT has been increased from 12.5 to 15%. If you add the other levies of 1% COVID, 2.5% get found, 2.5% of a national health insurance, we are paying VAT at 22%. And that affects all the levies and taxes that we pay at the port, which has a cascading effect of whatever pricing that we are supposed to come out. So if goods are expensive, it is not the doing of GUTA. It is rather as a result of the high cost of doing business and the excessive taxes that we are paying. You, as a first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, we petitioned Parliament not to, pass this bill into law. You were there. You didn't do anything about it. You try as much as possible to gather your people. As we will say, the minority will have its say, but the majority will have its way. And then this bill was passed. And finally, it has been accepted by the president. So if it has been accepted by the president, and then tomorrow you go to the market and you see that goods are high, prices of goods are high, do you then blame GUTA? You don't blame GUTA.
But this comment he's making, I'm sure it's in reference to issues that have been happening even before the new bills were passed before the House. And he even references some of your friends that he says have told him that you always give a lower figure for, under declaration is the right word, or the rest to use.
Sandra, it is never true. That was why initially I told you that if what he's saying is anything to go by, is he inferring that GRA is not giving us the required duties to pay? Because when we bring the goods, we don't come out with the duties that we are supposed to pay. It is the GRA. We submit our invoices, our bill of lading, everything to GRA to come out with the required duties that we are supposed to pay. So if you say we are under declaring, are you saying GRA is not doing their work very well? Is that what he's implying?
Okay, so, but is he also not a citizen, a consumer who can attest to, except that he's a speaker, so maybe we hold him in high regard, because we've just called him now. He says he stands by every word he has said in that interview.
He can choose to stand by it, but like I said, posterity will judge him. He can choose to stand by every word that he has said, but posterity will judge him, whether what he's saying is right or wrong. Posterity will judge him.
So your people don't overcharge us in the market, is that what you're saying?
What overcharging? Look, the market that we are is very, very competitive. We are in a very, very competitive market. So you cannot overprice your goods. If you overprice your goods, Sandra, you'll be out of the market.
What if you decide to become a cabal so that everybody in the group decides to, again, another factor that has to be considered. Many people go to the Nigerians because the Nigerians offer them lower rates, and the argument is that.
I don't want us to go in that tangent.
No, but it could be a justification for the Member of Parliament's comment.
If it could be a justification, do you know the policy rate in Nigeria?
They go to China with you, or?
Yes, they go to China with us. But I'm asking you, do you know the lending rate in Nigeria as a result of the policy rate that they have? So if I'm borrowing at 45% here and go to China, and somebody in Nigeria is borrowing at 25%, do you expect me to sell at the same price?
So that could be the reason that they sell at a lower price, and not because so is a circumstance and the fees and charges and the economic situation in Ghana that makes you charge higher than ordinarily you should have.
Exactly. So that is why we have been appealing to government to try as much as possible to reduce the cost of doing business here. Look, just about a year ago, there was a fact-finding mission to some of the ports within the sub-region to find out how much the shipping line charges are charging over there. If you take the total percentage of the shipping line cost, in Ghana here, it's almost about 7% of the total clearing charges. Go to Lome and find out. Lome is just below 1%. Lome is just below 1% of the total clearing charges that the shipping lines are charging. So if I'm paying 7% here, and somebody in Lome is paying 1%, and somebody in Lagos is paying maybe 2 or 3%, do you expect us to sell at the same price? It cannot be possible.
Very well.
It cannot be possible.
Very well. Let's leave it here. Thank you so much for speaking to us.